Gentlemen, I consider this a great privilege and honor than me to address you on this special historic occasion of ours, our first regional Tabitat Pulaku conference to be held in Ghana, in particular the Northeast region. Let me, on behalf of the regional leadership of the Fulbe community, thank His Royal Majesty the Nayuri for accepting and giving his blessings for us to have this conference in his kingdom. May Allah bless and elevate him as he reigns. He currently reigns in one of the mightiest kingdoms in the continent. We also wish to extend our gratitude to Nasalma, the paramount chief of the Wungu traditional area, and in Badurana, we owe you a great debt of gratitude for the honor of receiving and hosting us. Mr. Chairman, Tabitat Fulako International is a large organization of Fulbe across the globe with the core mandate of organizing annual conference with the aim of offering prayers and showcasing our rich culture and tradition to the world. Mr. Chairman, it is an organization that has its root from Mali, but currently stands as one of the largest associations in the world, with branches in Africa, North America, and Europe, headed by His Royal Majesty Lamido Sanusi Lamido II, the Overlord of Kano State and the former Governor of the Federal Bank of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, occasions like these are avenues for us to remind ourselves not only on our culture, rich tradition, and fears, but also to the root of the Fulbe people. History has established that the Fulbe people are descendants of Ukuba ibn Nafi, known as Sidi Ukuba, the 7th century Arab general who spearheaded the Islamization of North Africa. Fulbe is a tribe, and Fulfulde is a language, and not Fulani as it is popularly called. It is equally interesting to mention that the Fulfulde language is recognized as an official language in about 7 African countries, such as Senegal, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea, Mauritania, Nigeria, and Cameroon, whilst it is recognized as a state language in Burkina Faso, Mali, Senegal, Guinea, and Mauritania. These historical facts are not just worth mentioning, but celebrated. The Fulbe people need to know that they hold high station in the continent of Africa, and that we must reflect on why today we have become the most marginalized and stereotyped ethnic group in the continent. Mr. Chairman, permit me to add that Fulbe political legends led 5 African countries' emancipation from colonial bondage and served as the first heads of state, including Mali, Modibo Keita, Burkina Faso, Thomas Sankara, Guinea-Bissau, Cameroon, Ahmad Ahidjo, in Nigeria, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the largest country in the continent. Sheikh Osman Danfodio, the influence of Fulbe in religion, known as the commander of the faithful Nur Zaman, founded the Sokoto Caliphate. He was a scholar who spearheaded the Islamization of West Africa through jihad after the Arabs. He waged war, conquered, and established the deen with the help of Isam Muhammad Bello and Abdullah. He wrote over 100 books in government, religion, culture, and society. His works later inspired West African jihadists, including Sheikh Ahmad, founder of Masina Empire, and Umar Seydou Tall, founder of the Tolura Empire. This uncontested fact that the Fulbe Islamized Africa is verifiable in the universities across the world, as Osman Danfodio is central to the studies of religion and spread of Islam in West Africa. Another influential African Fulbe scholar, Sheikh Dahir Osman Bauchi from Nigeria. He is best known for holding the world record of a scholar with the highest number of descendants who memorized the Holy Quran. He founded over 700 Islamic schools across West Africa and educated over 400,000 students. His name is entered in the Quran Book of World Records. As a scholar, no scholar in the world has attained his feat. His janaza recorded unprecedented attendance, estimated to be over 10 million population, a testament of his scholarly influence and favor with Allah. Ladies and gentlemen, our very own revered Ghanaian Islamic scholar, Maulana Sheikh Abdullah Imaikanu Jallo, who traveled across the length and breadth of this country to ensure the deen of Islam gets to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and whose name is a household name, is another testament of Fulbe religious influence in Africa. Mr. Chairman, permit me to highlight that the status of Fulbe in global world rankings, Mansa Musa, the richest man in history, from the Keita dynasty, which produced the first president of Mali, Modibo Keita, was a Fulbe man. He controlled half of the world's gold supply during his time. The current richest black Africa from Nigeria. The current France football president, Philippe Jallo from France, is a Fullo, and the current president of Ivorian Football Federation, Yassine Idriss Jallo, is a Fullo. Other prominent Fulbes include late Buhari, Muhammad Buhari, late Umar Yar'Adua, former president of Senegal, aspiring secretary general of the UN, Macky Sall, current president of Gambia, Adama Barrow, current vice president of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Mohamed Julde Jallo, and the Caliphate al-Akbar Sheikh Abdul Faili Mekano Jallo, president of Tijani Council in Ghana, and Her Excellency, the former Second Lady of this Republic, Samira Baumia, is just to mention a few. This clearly dismisses the contrary view held by many, that Fulbes are herders and are in the bush, that Fulbes are highly influential in every sphere of life. This was what Fulbe were known for. What has changed? Our persistent hunger for animal wealth and neglect of education has strayed us into the bush, creating a new society and identity for us. This is therefore a wake-up call especially for the youth to embrace change, acquire skills, learn and master the right Islamic knowledge, and integrate through marriage in order to redeem our sinking image. Mr. Chairman, the theme for this event, the farmer header peace, a collective responsibility of all stakeholders. I found this theme to be very timely and crucial as we are cruising to the farming season, and very soon, chief palaces, police stations will be flooded with reports of destructions and attacks. It is therefore important for relevant stakeholders and guests to reflect and contribute their quota to the peace of the farmer and the herder. Farming and rearing are the key terms in the definition of agriculture. Why then the tension between the champions of these two areas? Simply, it is lack of proper systems in place. When the farmer gets surplus, he buys animals, and when the herder needs feed from farms, the herder needs feed from farms to feed his animals during the season, which supposes both depend on each other. Previously, farmer-herder misunderstandings were settled between the farmer and the herder, and in extreme cases handled by the chiefs satisfactorily. But today, the situation is very bad and sometimes escalates into shootings of animals, killing of herders or farmers, and burning of settlements. Therefore, I'm by this opportunity inviting government, all major stakeholders to consciously design permanent interventions to discourage this highly intensifying farmer-herder conflict, especially within the northern part of the country. Fulbe contribution to the Ghanaian economy. It is however important to indicate that the contribution of Fulbe to the Ghanaian economy cannot be overemphasized or cannot be underestimated. The hundreds of cattle markets across the country cannot exist without constant supply of cattle owned by the Fulbe. Thousands of Ghanaians earn their living in these markets, both youth and adults. Government, through the assemblies, raise huge revenue from the markets. Host chiefs also benefit heavily from these markets. Local business thrives significantly, and this certainly boosts the local business economy of the host communities, thereby bringing prosperity and development to the people. Another area that is worth mentioning as Fulbe contribution to the national economy is abattoirs and meat factories. It is evidence that on a daily basis, thousands of cattle get slaughtered across the over hundreds of abattoirs in the country. Thousands of our Ghanaian teeming youth depend on these for their survival. Households get their supply from these places. Revenue is generated for government, and local economy gets boosted. The thousands of youth who earn their living through this avenue saves government from employment and security pressures. Last but not the least, assemblies are able to generate huge revenue through cattle raise to complement their internally generated funds efforts, and this helps in the development of the communities. Finally, Fulbe serves as well keepers for people and their chiefs. Apart from Fulbe owning cattle and paying host communities annually, there are other Fulbe who mainly take care of Fulbe community members' cattle. When individuals buy cattle for rearing, they look for Fulbe herder to take care, who will devote his entire family to expand the cattle. These cattle, in most cases, sold to fund education of the owner's children, while the poor herder children perish in the bush. He does not care where they sleep, what they eat, who pays their medical bills, which farmer is troubling them, and whether they have grazing space. And when he gets the trouble, he tells him to deal with it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important to highlight that in the course of our engagement with over 85% of the communities in the region, we have gathered numerous concerns from the Fulbe community. We deem it prudent to draw your attention as stakeholders. The most troubling and very intensified is the farmer-herder conflict. This tension, which usually between herders and local farmers, is as a result of the competition for access to same natural resources for different purposes, that is grazing land, water, and spatial grazing leads. Lack of fair compensation on farm destruction by traditional leaders, which erodes trust on the part of the herders to honestly admit and report destruction to the affected farmers. Dialogue to resolve these disagreements by resort to cattle killing and attacks on herders, as well as burning down Fulbe settlement. Generalization of crimes and attacks on Fulbes. It is evidence across many communities in the region and beyond that when there is robbery incident and the perpetrators are not identified, some hooligans take the law into their own hands and launch attack on Fulbe, burning their settlements and sometimes killing innocent lives with impunity. We also established through our visits that traditional leaders and Fulbe chiefs are not able to coordinate well in receiving and settling visiting herders. This situation allows some mischievous middlemen to tap in, make gains, and create tension between the host chiefs, Fulbe leaders, landowners, and local farmers. Most residents Fulbe have complained about constant discriminatory harassment at immigration checkpoints. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, we will not be sincere if we fail to mention our Fulbe side of the problem with our host community members. We, the leadership, have also identified the following as serious concerns posed by the Fulbe that affect peace and unity, and have engaged in constant sensitization to change the situation. Some Fulbe herders engage in night grazing in places where there are a lot of farms. The herder is either unable to see the farm or slip off, and the cattle stray into the farm, causing huge destruction. Use of child herders. Some Fulbe with large number of cattle engage minors who may not be able to control the animal, especially where grazing spaces are narrow. Some herders are not honest to report destruction to affected farmers and agree to compensate the damage. Some Fulbe are not willing to volunteer information to support in fighting crime. Some Fulbe herders have failed to diversify their cattle wealth and continuously keep large cattle in places where the grazing space is inadequate. Way forward, Mr. Chairman, having highlighted the status of Fulbe in the world, their contribution to the Ghanaian economy and challenges they have been confronted with, it is essential to propose some interventions that can curtail some of these challenges. Government, through the assemblies, should make conscious effort to facilitate for chiefs, landowners, Fulbe leaders, and local farmers to resolve the issues of grazing space, farming space, grazing lanes, and access to drinking water. Traditional leaders, security agencies, Fulbe leaders, and all those who matter in peace and security must collaborate to fight crime around animal thievery and armed robbery decisively. Proper mechanisms must be put in place by both traditional leaders, security agencies, to ensure animal dealers adhere to the moral protocol of the business, to discourage animal theft that is frustrating and rendering people helpless. The chiefs, imams, and key stakeholders in the community must show interest in what they consume from the abattoirs by putting in place surveillance mechanisms to deter illegal animal business to sustain rearing. Government must influence national policies that consciously target permanently designating grazing spaces for cattle and other domestic animals to avoid extinction of the species, considering their contribution to the economy, jobs, and food security in the country. Mr. Chairman, we want to use this medium to commend government, traditional leaders, and security agencies for their efforts in containing and managing crimes that have Fulbe involvement across the country. We also appreciate the national leadership of the Fulbe community, both National Council of Fulbe Chiefs, Tabita Pulaku International, as well as Fulbe National Council of Fulomas, for their commitment to the welfare of the Fulbe community in Ghana. We finally want to thank the national media for responding to our call on them to exhibit professional media reportage, divide of tribal profiling, and stereotype against our ethnic group. We also acknowledge and appreciate civil society organizations, non-governmental organizations, and individual consultants who have sacrificed in diverse ways to protect and promote the welfare of Pulaku in Ghana. May Allah continue to empower, bless, and reward their efforts. Finally, we want to extend our warmest appreciation to the Fulbe leadership in the region, our counterparts in the other regions, and all friends for making this event a success. May Allah reward everyone abundantly. In conclusion, inferring from the numerous measures advanced, we have no doubt that if government, security agencies, traditional leaders make commitment, issues of farmer herder conflict and other crimes that have Fulbe involvement will be minimized drastically, and we will have a crime-free society. Long live Fulbe, long live Northeast region, long live Ghana. Thank you.